And we're going live. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever in the world you're watching Stramash Media. This is the no nonsense show that details everything about Scottish sport, including football and rugby, because there's a big match on this weekend. Chris, how you doing? Chris Linnett down there in Hamilton.
Good, round the corner for you all too. So, all's well apart from the weather.
And across from me, Glenn in Aberdeenshire. How's it looking there?
Just the usual rubbish darkness. It just seems to be like, you get up, it's dark, you go to bed, it's dark, it's just dark permanently. Roll on the light nights.
I know. I'm no for this dark weather. Anyway, listen, European football has been a bit of a downer for Scottish clubs recently. Just about everybody's out of Europe and feeling sorry for themselves. But here's the thing, Glenn, I'll start with you first. Does this mean that it's an even playing field because the European money isn't going anywhere? Not to any of the Scottish clubs. Our coefficient's going down. But does this mean an equalisation of Scottish football?
That could make an argument for that. I mean, there will be less in Celtic's coffers anyway, kind of thing. They've in the past few seasons they've been banking sums, really huge sums in terms of Scottish football, like 30, 35 million, etc. Rangers, they've not been banking the same amount, but still been taking 18 to 25 million, depending on how because they've had decent runs in Europe. So maybe there is, but there will always be an imbalance because the revenues, when you've got stadiums that hold 50,000 and most of the time they're full, they're always going to have more money. But it might actually allow for some clubs such as Hearts, etc., with fresh investment they've got from Mr. Bloom, etc. There might actually be a perfect opportunity for them. I mean, they've announced losses, I think, for last year, and there'll obviously be losses this year without European competition. But yeah, in the grand scale of things, it's not huge losses, and he's got deep pockets. So maybe it is a perfect opportunity for him to go into the transfer market in January and actually use the finances he's got, because Rangers certainly don't have those finances. Celtic do, but it's troubling times for the dominance or the non-dominance of the former old firm teams.
Well, the thing is, Chris, that if Celtic are playing so badly and they're losing, will Sky be wanting to put them on? Okay, there's a Celtic Rangers game that holds some kind of sway, but it's really losing its shine now. And might this be Sky thinking, what's the point of Scottish football if there's no big Celtic or Rangers? And they might just pull the plug, and that's more revenue out.
I mean, I don't know whether they arrange the contracts in advance. I don't think it's too far in advance, but
no.
I mean, they're always Celtic, even in Europe, were always a sort of afterthought for Sky. But at the minute, I think that they're still in a chance for the playoffs, but it's fallen off a cliff. So it's it might create a more of a balance in Scottish football. But the way I see it is, I think all the Scottish clubs really need to be making inroads in Europe. Now they're not, but yeah, I mean, it's the commercial appeal's definitely lessening week by week, unless of course you acknowledge it's pantomime season and it's no holds barred.
Well, it does seem, Glenn, that the Celtic fans are really unhappy with the new manager. He's been brought in. You may remember that Martin O'Neill done quite a good job steadying the ship, winning quite a lot of games and getting the team performing well. This new guy came in, Wilfred Nancy, and he's not won a game yet. More importantly, they lost the big cup final. That was a massive game. Our fans, Celtic fans, right to be wanting heads to roll from the board or the management, because they're the ones that pay the money. They're the ones that are paying the season tickets.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. When it comes down to the base denominators in Scottish football, I mean, we're the most dependent league on fans paying their money, through the gate than any other league in Europe, basically. Because you mentioned before about Sky TV and all that kind of stuff. We get so little from the TV deal anyway. It probably wouldn't make too much, not to the top division anyway. It would make a difference to the clubs below that kind of thing. But yeah, so I mean, if the fans decided to suddenly start staying away, it would make a big difference. Whether they will or not, I don't know. It hasn't got, it is bad at the moment. I mean, this is the worst start of any Celtic or Rangers manager ever. 4 games, 4 defeat. Now, he's come into, you could say, a troubled club. The fans are unhappy anyway, so it's not all him. They were unhappy before with the board and the lack of investment. Then they were unhappy with what was going on between Rodgers and the board, etc. They've been calling for the board's head for a wee while. And I don't know if you guys noticed in the final, they got quite a cheeky little comment up in the scoreboard. But they like to do the happy birthdays and all that kind of stuff, yeah? So somebody put in a happy birthday, Zach the board. So, you know, it's been going on for ages, and he's inherited this. Now he's come in and let's be honest, he's made a hash of it straight away. He's not a lot of time to work with him, but still, he's probably trying to change far too much, far too quickly, with not enough time for them, the players to take it on board. The players look like they don't get the new system and don't understand what they're trying to do. If he doesn't change it quickly, then he's out. It's as simple as that. The board have said they're backing him, but how many times have we seen boards back people before, or say they're backing him, and then fans stay away, the results crash, etc. There's a possibility here that if he doesn't turn this around, next couple of results, they lose, Rangers win their 2 games, then Rangers are actually breathing down their neck almost. And if you go back to like the first 5, 6, 7 games of the season, you would think that was just impossible. Rangers were so far off the pace, but that's how quickly it can turn around. So that kind of pressure, if that happens, the pressure there will be, it'll have to be the end for him. And it seems ridiculous to say that after 6, 7 games of a tenure that a manager would go. But in this little goldfish bowl that we have of Scottish football, I could see that actually happening,
Yeah, exactly. But Chris, would you not give him till Christmas time at least, so he can get a transfer window and bring in his own players? He's bringing in Brendan Rodgers' team, and he's trying to work with that, and it's a different system.
Yeah, but O'Neill used Brendan. I mean, O'Neill didn't even know the names of half the players before. Probably still didn't at the end up. But he would carry that charisma, the European final, UEFA final, all that sort of stuff. And that he didn't uncover Larsson, but largely Larsson's tenure was mostly under him. So he's got a lot of cachet. There's no doubt about that, and very personable as well. Whereas Nancy come over for America, and it's straight away people ask questions. But as I said, well, where did Postecoglou come from? Southeast Asia. And he turned it around, but I think it's because it's on the back of the Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah,
that was. I hate using the word toxic. It's thrown about everywhere. That was quite bitter. You could feel that the players, even though they're on X money, didn't want to play for the guy. You could just see it. And then O'Neill comes in. Obviously, got to credit a lot of that to Maloney, but I don't think Maloney's got this sort of personality that will hold sway like O'Neill had. But I don't know, it's difficult because you want to come in, you want to make your mark in the team. He came in at probably the worst time.
Yeah.
He could have, but a lot of Celtic fans I was talking to, they're like slight arrogance about them. Well, as long as we win the cup final, then it'll be fine. So that was the word on the street that I was living in. And obviously it hasn't happened, but I do agree with Glenn. You can't. This has got nothing to do with football. You can't just come in and absolutely turn the ship right around and expect everyone to be playing sailing. Pardon the pun. It's too much too soon, and sometimes you've got to give players a wee bit of a leeway to express themselves, really. And yeah, I think people cottoned on to that Connect Four thing. Bringing the board again, the Christmas theme, the board games, and it was Monopoly. He's landed the wrong hotel. It's a shame, but Celtic fans have been spoiled for a while, and you're mentioning that there could be a parity with Rangers. And for me, the parity I'm looking for is doing well in Europe, challenging at the top of the league for all the right reasons because they're playing exciting football. But at the minute, it's a parity of mediocrity, I'd say, and it's not good.
It's not good at all. Glenn, last week we left the listeners with a question. Can you remind us what that was?
Yeah, absolutely. So last week's question was, Kenny Miller is 10th on the all-time appearance list for Scotland with 69 caps. But can you name the 7 clubs that he played for whilst winning those caps?
Right, we said Celtic and Rangers. And Wolves came in, didn't they, Chris? We said Wolves. Right.
Bursaspor, so that's... Oh, no, but you said he wasn't playing with them at that time, did you?
Sorry, what's the other club you said there?
Bursaspor in Turkey.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's 4.
Right.
Which leaves one English club, one Welsh one, and
Cardiff.
an MLS club.
Cardiff. Was he playing with Hibs when he got a cap? I can't mind.
Nope. Nope.
And the MLS team, Fort Lauderdale, something like that.
The Canadian side.
Is that Canadian? Vancouver Whitecaps.
Yeah, that's it. That leaves one club, and they're English.
Oh. So he went from Wolves. He didn't go to Everton. No. Where did he go after that, Chris? Where did he go?
I'm just reverting to predictions form, so I will guess Birmingham.
Kenny Miller played for. Did he play Blackburn, a northern team, something like that? It wasn't Blackburn.
No. Clue. Think. So Celtic and Rangers, Hearts and Hibs, Aberdeen, Dundee United. What's that? What are they?
New firm, old firm.
Derby.
Derby County.
Yeah.
Did he play Derby? Wow.
He did. He got capped while playing for Derby County. Yep.
Wow.
He, in the nicest sense of the word, he got around.
He got around. He did indeed.
Do you want the next question?
Yes, indeed. Let's go for it.
Right. So Hearts will lead the top flight at Christmas for the first time since 1991. But who was their manager when they last topped the table at Christmas?
I'm tempted to say somebody like Jim Jeffries.
I'll say Burley.
Burley.
Do we leave it hanging for a bit?
Leave it hanging for a bit, and then we'll move on to the other European the European nightmare that has become for Scottish football, because Aberdeen were playing last night, and we were saying earlier that this is a game they could just relax at, because we're out, we're third bottom of that league, but we kept passing the ball to their players. The first 10 minutes, I thought Aberdeen were playing all right football. And then they scored. And then I don't know what happened. People just got fed up, forgot the rules of football. What happened? What happened to Aberdeen last night? And is this indicative of a poor Scottish Premier League when we can't beat other teams in Europe? Chris, what do you reckon? Are we up to the European challenge?
Look, forget my opinion or anybody else's. Just look at the tables, and Rangers are sitting nearly rock bottom. So are Aberdeen. Celtic might get a playoff, in the Europa League. I mean, it's just, if you think back to last year, that Celtic were taking Bayern Munich close, just it's fallen off a cliff, and it's really, really. I mean, okay, Sparta, they're top 8, so we shouldn't really be thinking like that. But fair enough. But teams like Noah, Armenia, you really have to be beating teams like that. So it wasn't last night as such, but definitely all the results are just going one way, and it's right off. And even like with the first goal, Milne, it was as if he let the ball go, and I just thought, when you're a defender, look, I've always said that Gary Caldwell scored 1 million OGs, and most of them because he got himself back and into a position where most other defenders wouldn't have got back. So for me, you're a defender. You make contact with the ball, and at least then you're in some sort of control of your destiny. And it just looked lethargic. And you mentioned it, and we mentioned it before we kicked off, that it was a chance for them to relax and just, bed a few guys in, and it was a worrying game, I think.
Yeah. Glenn, what's happening to Scottish football? We go over to Europe, we seem to get cold feet. Having said that, a lot of the teams that Aberdeen played are in the top section. But is that because they beat Aberdeen that got them there, or is it because they're such good teams and we didn't realise?
Well, first of all, what's up with Scottish football? I mean, we've only got an hour, so we can't really tap into that. But I mean, Scottish clubs in Europe this season, it's been a disaster. Let's just be frank about it. We are where we are, especially Aberdeen, because we deserve to be there. We started off very, very badly. We had a little patch in the middle, got picked up a couple of draws, which we should have won. We've not been clinical, taken forever for our strikers to get going. But you also have to have a little question mark over the managers, not just the Aberdeen manager, but also in Rangers. I mean, they've been really woeful as well. And you look at last season; they were actually, even when they were bad in the domestically, they were strong in Europe.
Correct.
Tactically naive. So you're right. We were last night was a game that we didn't have to win or anything because it didn't matter. We couldn't qualify. So as Chris said, relax, enjoy the game. Mitov had said before that we need to learn and we are growing and etc. And if we're in this position next year, we should be better.
Yeah.
We set up with Shinnie at left wing back. Shinnie. I mean, we sat there. We saw that. We saw the lineup. We said that there's the weakness there. Straight away, he's too old. He isn't a left wing back. He can't get up and down the park, etc.
No.
He was booked in a minute.
I know.
He was missing, although Milne was culpable as well. He was missing, for the first goal because he was completely out of position. He got drawn towards the ball and didn't hold his position. Later on, Mitov, who was talking the talk, etc., and had a really good performance domestically in the previous match, but he's up and down like a roller coaster. He put the ball straight to them. It's basic errors that you will get punished at this level, and it's same can be said for Rangers. The central defensive partnerships they've been using, etc., have been culpable for a lot of their goals and their performances. And when you're weak at the back, the strikers and the forward players, they can't express themselves because they're thinking we lose this ball. It's back onto our back line, and we're going to lose a goal here. So there's a different kind of pressure there. We're just, Scottish football in Europe just now, we're getting exactly what we deserve from it, which is really nothing, Chris had touched on the fact that Celtic may get into the playoffs, and he's right. But let's face it, judging by their performances, does any one of the three of us think that they're going to get beyond the playoffs? Not a chance.
No chance. No, I think there's confidence is a big thing, Chris, isn't it? When you play these European games and you don't win, you start to doubt your own abilities, and you go abroad and you're away flying. It's a different game, and you've got to be in a hotel and get out of it and all the rest of it. Is that the kind of thing that's upsetting the Scottish teams? It doesn't seem to bother teams that are coming here to play us. But I'm just looking for clues. Why is there such... Aberdeen are playing well in the league. They've won something like 6 out of the last 10 or 9 games. You go into Europe, not a thing. It's like a different team completely.
Well, I mean, now that you've got your Poirot clock on, obviously you check underneath the pillow for the mints and all that and see what's going on with it. But look, they just don't seem to be able to do it. And this, I mean, when Aberdeen won it, I'll hark back to that. They played preliminary rounds and just to get in the thing in the first place. So because you compare it to Scotland, and all right, we were lucky, but I keep saying it, I much prefer being a lucky team than giving the hard luck stories. But Glenn said we haven't really been unlucky in Europe. It's no as if there was some great conspiracy. It's just no turning up to play teams that are well below us. I mean, Armenia, in fairness, I don't want to be arrogant, but nobody's really ever talked about Armenia, in glowing terms. So I don't know. You compare we got to the World Cup with some of the same players, but just right now, there's definitely an inferiority complex, and it's probably in the way we play. But we know the whole thing that Scottish football is a bit harder than European, so you need to sort of tone it down a bit and all the rest of it. But we've known that for years. So for me just now, I think it's naivety and lack of skill. Really, it's just that obvious for me.
Glenn, a lot of the Aberdeen fans again are talking about Jimmy Thielen and his tactics and his choice of player for the. You mentioned already Shinnie at number 3. Now we don't know if that's because there's lack of numbers or whatever, but surely it's the depth of squads that we've got is threadbare for the European and the domestic tournaments.
I don't know. I mean, he took in a fair few boys during the summer transfer period. He's got Carlson. He's like 11 million from Bologna. You've got Ayush from Sunderland, who I think they paid about 10 million for as well. He's a cracking wee player, and domestically they've been okay, and Carlson's been not too mad in Europe. Okay, the worrying thing for me is as the team goes on, we're quite reliant on them, and they're loan players. So they'll be gone at the end of the season.
Right. Right.
As far as like questioning Thielen, I mean, yeah, I think everyone should be questioning him. I mean, he still has the support of the board. He will have that for quite some time. They talk about it being a 3-year project, etc. I think they will back him again in January. It depends to what extent. They are climbing the league. You said that they're playing well domestically, etc. I would counter that they're getting results, but they're not. It's very rare. The last time I actually watched an Aberdeen game and actually enjoyed watching them was the first half against Dundee, but then they collapsed in the second half. So there's a mentality thing there. I don't know what's going on with it, but they seem to not score at the crucial times when the opportunity presents them. So they're not clinical enough, and then we lose goals at crucial moments. And if we do get in the lead, you never feel one goal is enough. You need to get the second goal. It's just there's a horrible spiral of like mentality in Aberdeen, and I don't know where it's coming from. You've got some players in there you think that actually they've won things. They just they've lifted the Scottish Cup. I remember Mitov talking about the preparation for the week of the Scottish Cup final. And he said he'd never experienced anything like it. It was great managing from Thielen, It wasn't about when, if we win the cup, it was when we win. And we set up the entire week for it. And you saw the collapses before against Celtic, and they turned it around in that week. You think, wow, they've turned a corner here. They've got it right. Something's clicked. And then this, and you think, so I don't know what's going on there. And there's a possibility that Leven is going to be leaving for, pardon the pun, for Killie as well. And when he's taken charge of Aberdeen, he's been really good. And a lot of people credit him with doing some of the work, the good work behind the scenes. So this could spell a period of even worse football for Aberdeen if he was to depart. It's interesting and worrying at the same time.
It is. They've got this new director of football coming in to help choose the players for Jimmy Tillin. I can't remind his name, but he's from Germany. He's well known. But you're right. If we lose Peter Leven, because he was the guy that steadied the ship when Barry Robson left, and he did it really successfully, and he's a good media presenter as well. And everybody thought, why not give him the shout? But Jimmy Tillin was brought in, and we've been through the rocky road with that. It's what I'm trying to get at, guys, is Scottish football, do we have to take one step back to get two forward? Shall we just write off this season and then come again next season and work from the mistakes? But we seem to be saying that every year, Chris.
I mean, there's plenty of take your pick. There's plenty of mistakes. Just to have at it, but no, you need to go right now. I mean, these guys are on decent money and should turn up, because let's face it, the Aberdeen fans are there every week.
I know.
So yeah, they've got to turn up. And right now, the league's still obviously no there for them to win, but the league's still there to romp right up it. There's nothing to say they won't. And I'm assuming if Tillin's still there, he'll get another few Scandinavians in, because that seems to be the way with him. So there's still plenty to go there. I mean, I think everybody's underachieving this year, so it's relative to yourself. Then you're not actually position-wise. I don't feel you're much worse off, even though the football is. But it will be interesting when Leven goes, because we can all speculate and all the rest of it, but you only then figure out how much how much influence did he have in the team, and we'll find that out soon enough. Definitely will, because there's plenty of set. I mean, even Sean Maloney, he would have been make most of the decisions, but Anil was the persona. So it's kind of hard to talk about personas and Tillin in the same breath, but
I know.
but yeah, so it'll be interesting to find that out. But I think the league's there for Aberdeen to move up, to be honest, and. Yeah,
concentrate on it.
Aye, there's a malaise, but they have to keep going. And I don't know if Polvara's looking for a place in the World Cup squad, but there's players on there that can hurt teams. So, but it just seems as if success is always a wee bit away. The Scottish Cup was there, and obviously whatever Tillin did worked, so it could work again. But I don't think Aberdeen fans are going to wait forever.
No, I mean, Glenn. We'll probably cover this again in a few weeks' time when we look at Aberdeen and all the other teams in the league and check where we are in European terms. But for now, can you give us the answers to the question on the Hearts manager of yesteryear? Who was it?
Yeah, well, Scotland legend.
Oh, John Robertson.
It's Joe Jordan.
Joe Jordan, was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. The toothless one.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he had a very short-lived kind of managerial career. He was with Bristol, I think Bristol Rovers before, kind of thing. But yeah, that's it. He was a manager. He was at Hearts for about, I think, 2.5 seasons. Yeah.
Wow, what a question! Forgot all about him back in the day. Wow, great question. No chance that I got that, Chris. You?
No.
Damn, too good for us, Glenn. Right, world football. Steve Clark came out this weekend and was talking about the Tartan Army going to America for the World Cup, and he said something really important. I think it's he said he doesn't want people going away over to America and getting themselves into serious debt. This is do you know this? I think that's a manager who's got a finger on the pulse of what it's like to be a fan. To come out and say that when tickets are such a high price and they're not going to get any cheaper. Do you think there's going to be a low turnout for the America games, Glenn? Because of price?
Look, yeah, I mean it's sensible advice from Mr. Clark. I mean, it's the prices that are, not just the tickets. The price for the whole thing, flying over there, you've seen like within a space of a week, flights to America had went from £700 to £1,700. That's just within a week. It's only going to go higher and higher. And in America as well. I mean, Scotland are quite fortunate the fact that 2 of the games are in Boston. Some other ones are going to have to go to like 3 different locations, and the internal flights are just as expensive in America. So you factor in the prices of the food, the accommodation. Yeah, people, if they're going, it's going to cost serious money. And so he's quite right to say, you shouldn't be doing this. It's football, etc. You'll get to watch it. But also factor in the fact we've not been for 28 years, people will think to themselves, well, this is a once-in-a-lifetime trip kind of thing. I just have to say, I've got to find a way. And just look at history. People always, they will go to the games, they will find a way. I always remember, this is not football, but I remember the Welsh guy who went to I think it was the first World Cup in Australia. So he flew off to Australia. Was it Australia or was it New Zealand? Anyway, it was down under. And he flew off there, and it was only once he was away that his wife got the shock of her life when basically a lorry arrived at the house and started taking the slate tiles off the roof. He'd sold the tiles on his roof to go to the World Cup, And it's just, people will take out loans probably, and they will want to go. There'll be a good turnout for the Scotland games. Whether it's in fan zones or not, there's a lot of people who have got, if you think about Canada, think about America, there's lots of expat Scots, etc. over there, or the diaspora. So whether they're all from here or not, there'll be a big turnout. But he's right to countenance against going into debt for it, because it's not just like a little debt, it's a lot of debt.
It's a lot of debt. Chris, we were over in Canada, and I've got friends over there that have offered to put me up if I wanted to go from Canada down to Boston. It's not that far.
It depends.
You can get a Greyhound bus all the way down and get in. But then, what's the point if you've got 3,000 odd quid for the worst ticket? And the hotels around Boston are really expensive as well. Everything's gone up just because we're there. It's a capitalist dream. It's our nightmare.
Well, I mean, I'm just grateful we're actually talking about it like this. To be honest, I still have to pinch myself sometimes. But I mean, do we actually know what Steve Clark was talking about? I mean, maybe he meant just don't bet in Scotland. I don't know if it was specific about it.
Well, he was being asked about the price, and does FIFA have a real finger on the pulse of what football is about? Because there seems to be a disconnect between FIFA and the footballing world for what they're doing. And he just came out voluntarily and said, look, I don't want the Scotland fans going out of debt. This is a really big cost for them. And he just started saying it calmly, it is a crying shame that these prices are what they are. So that's the context of it.
Well, I've even heard that they're talking about charging people to get into the big areas with the screens and all that, maybe $10 or whatever to do that. So everybody's, I mean, it's North America. You don't need to ask them twice to go, right, do you want to make a few quid here? So there'll be all sorts going on, no doubt. But I mean, you could do the old midnight cowboy and get the Greyhound across Canada to Boston, and it'll be rammed. I can tell you that for nothing.
I know. By the way, Glenn, the Danish manager has come out and said they should have won their group. They were by far the better team. On every statistic, they were the better team. There was one statistic that they forgot to mention, and that's the fact that we beat them.
Yeah.
Is this sour grapes, or is this, what's he trying to do here? What's he trying to do? Why can't he just say, well done, Scotland?
Yeah. You know what? More than likely, he was asked a question by the Danish press. He just responded honestly. On paper, they should have won that game. But it's not paid. It's not played on paper. It's played on grass. They shouldn't have been in that position. They should have beaten Belarus, but they didn't beat Belarus.
Yes,
exactly. I mean, the Greek fans and the Greek media will be saying the same thing as well. They're saying they're a better team than us. But you guess what? Neither one is going currently to the World Cup.
Yeah.
He came across as quite a nice guy beforehand, so I don't think it's particularly sour grapes. I think he's probably just genuinely stunned. If you had watched Scotland's qualification games, okay, as we have done, but if you're a neutral person watching the qualification games, you would never imagine in the final game that Scotland would score 3 of the best goals ever scored to take ourselves to the World Cup. So he is probably still stunned, thinking, where on earth did that come from?
He's still stunned, and so are we.
Yeah. You know what? They actually might get a better draw if they win their semi-final and their final. Their group looks better than our group. So,
I know,
because I've heard a couple of Danish fans saying that, it's meant to be. We'll avoid Brazil if we do this kind of thing. So we'll wait and see. I mean, I've got no hard feelings. I like Denmark. I don't think it's great. It's sour grapes. So I think he is just stunned.
Something there, Chris, that it looks like Scotland could qualify because you only need a best third team can get through. This is going to cost more money for the fans. It depends when they play. This could create real havoc. Never mind the slates in your roof. The door and the hinges will be away as well.
Well, you obviously need two hussies to get the slates off. But as far as the Denmark manager goes, I'd say, yeah, on paper, mate, but it's no origami. It's football, and take the 3 goals and do something with it. But I keep saying it. I want to be this team that everybody gets off the park and goes, right, explain to me how that happened. That's it. I'm
we had it last time. Remember remember Norway?
Yes.
We were there, yeah. We were away from home. They were playing better than us, and it wasn't a great game. But and then we scored 2 goals in 2 minutes because they just lost it. That's what used to happen to us. So I'm with Chris. I'd rather be the team doing that than being on the receiving end.
Yeah, but they took Harlan off. There was an arrogance in Norway there, and it's like, yeah, well, there you go. That's exactly. You'll not do that again, but you'll not get the chance.
I know. I mean, Harlan could only score against us with a penalty.
I know.
I think that was Ryan Porteous, for the love of God.
Oh, I know, Ryan.
Steady hands.
Yeah, Ryan puts a challenge in. Should have been a penalty. It wasn't a penalty. Learn, Ryan. Learn. No, do the same thing again. It's a penalty.
I know. What a boy. But good player as well. Listen, the football last week. Before we go, the managerial merry-go-round. There's a couple of big names have been sacked. I'll just get your thoughts on this. Tony Docherty at Ross County has been shown the door. John Robertson's interim manager just up the road from us here. And everybody's thinking, wow, that was a bit sudden. Okay, didn't win games, but surely he was trying to mould his team. Managers aren't getting a chance these days, apparently. And then Kilmarnock, Kettlewell's gone because he couldn't win too many games. But if you look at Kilmarnock's games, they weren't losing by that many. It was like 1-2-1s, 1-0s, and it just, if you're a manager and it's going that way for you, Glenn, you can't hold this. You can't hold the fall, can you? It's just inevitable.
Well, look, I mean, I've got every sympathy for Doherty. I think Doherty plays nice football. Last season, when he had Dundee, he was the one that was blooding the youngsters, etc. Of all the teams in the top flight, he played the kids. It's what we kind of need. But look, we live in a realistic world whereby, you know, as every season goes by, the amount of time that a manager gets shorter. Slowly, it's getting shorter and shorter. And I mean, they're bottom of the championship now. They're a small club at the very, very north of Scotland. They're funded, and they survive on basically a benefactor. The money you get in a championship isn't a lot of money for being there in comparison to the Premier League, but it's a hell of a lot more than League One, and they're going to really, really struggle. So it just comes down to I think they got beat 6-0 in one of the recent games as well. They need to turn it around so that the chairman's obviously saying, well, okay, try somebody else. I need a bounce. They're not adrift at the moment. But if it continued, they would be. They're 2 points behind Queen's Park, and then there's about another 5 to get. They're 5 behind Airdrie. So if it goes on for too long, then they're down. And look at Inverness. That's the 2 clubs from the Highlands that are struggling. I know Inverness are starting to bounce back, but they've been through a torrid time going into administration. I mean, it's very worrying for Highland football.
It really is. The demise. I mean, these are 2 clubs that were in the Premier League, Chris, not that long ago, having derbies against each other. And now we see them falling right down, the Snakes, if it was a game of snakes and ladders. But are we in danger of losing good managers because fans are impatient or the boards are impatient?
I mean, attention spans are just dropping off a cliff right now. I mean, I've seen people looking at phones with 15 different wee pictures in it, and you're like, I don't know what's going on there. But there's obviously one of those 15 pictures is attracting attention. But I mean, I'm just waiting for the first manager to get sacked at half time. That will come. It's a bit like when I went to see Montreal Impact years ago. There was music after somebody scored, and I'm like, that'll never catch on. Both, here we go. So yeah, people are getting far more impatient, and it's just shown in the way. But if you're getting beat 6-0 and that's telling you 6 things really, and that's quite emphatic. But as far as Kettlewell goes, it's okay. It's by the thinnest of margins, but you can see Aberdeen got a dodgy penalty against them. But when the rest of the world that are doing this to you, it can't be right. It's got to be down to. And I mean, the minute I saw him kicking that water bottle, I thought, it's not. That's definitely the death knell. And as the Kilmarnock fans were saying, a nice guy and all that, but just wasn't getting results. So yeah, it's only going to accelerate. I mean, the same way that you look at Scottish players going down now. If there's Andy Walker, there's barely contact in Europe. You learn the ways of impatience. I sound like sensei now, but the ways of impatience and just people getting less and less time. So yeah, it's just modern society, isn't it, really, sadly.
I remember, Glenn, we were all at the start of the season, we thought Stephen Caldwell would be the first to go because he went on record saying, if you want a manager that's going to win you trophies, well, that's not me.
Presley,
yeah.
He instills confidence in you.
It's a great prediction.
But
to be fair, he might still go.
Well, maybe because he was honest, he's still in a job.
Well, he's barely in a job, isn't he? I mean, I think it's Killian and Livy that are keeping him in a job at the moment.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, I mean, St Mirren, bizarrely, St Mirren are one of these teams I can't work out. They can play really well. They can get important results. They can be really tight in games and just not get them in the league, etc. I mean, they're sitting in 9th. They're only I think 5 points above the relegation spot.
Yeah,
but they've got they've won the cup. It's amazing. And that will buy him time. I mean, if you were to look at that league place just now, and if they didn't have the cup success and the league run they'd been on, there'd be some question marks. But they dumped Motherwell out the semi, etc. Then they beat Celtic, fantastic result, etc. And I mean, as long as he does, they stay above the relegation spot, he's sound. Maybe they'll kick on. I don't know. But look at Livingston. They had Martindale. They went down. They went down. But he's kind of ingrained into the club. They stuck with him, came back up. They're struggling again. There's no rumours at all about Martindale.
No,
So he works with a budget, and I think the board are quite happy with it. And they if he go down again, I don't think he'll get sacked. And then you look at Killie. They had the success, relative success with Derek McInnes, decent manager. They lost him, and then they go on this bad run, and and no one can argue with Kettlewell going. I think no wins in 10 or something, and relegation threatened. I mean, I never argue for managers to get sacked or whatever kind of thing, and I feel for him. And he'll probably get a reasonable payoff, and he will get another job, etc. But it's a results business, and he hasn't been getting them at all.
No,
I mean, look at David Gray as well. So he was almost sacked. They hung, they hung on to him. He turned it around. They really started playing nice football. I mean, they're actually in a bit of a bad run just now in the league. So they've 3 defeats in the last 4, but they're still playing nice, attractive football. They've played some tough teams, etc., and they've been unlucky as well. But he's proved his worth by staying with them, and the football he's actually got the young players. Look at Kieran Bowie; he's a good potential prospect for Scotland, etc. He's blooding players. He's getting the best out of some of the older ones as well.
Correct.
There's argument for and against. Maybe the boards, when they're pulling the plug, they just completely lost faith in the actual manager. It's not just the fans. The board are saying, we can't see him turn around. Maybe the demeanour, the way he's talking about football, etc. They say that he's gone, etc. Whereas with David Gray, maybe he was it was fighting talk, and he was showing a plan of how he's actually going to turn it around, etc. We don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
No, we don't. That's a fact. But can we predict in our crystal ball right now who do you expect the next casualty to be in Scottish football?
I think it should be me for my predictions.
No, mine are worse than yours. But what manager? I'm still going to go with Caldwell, but I think he's
Presley.
Sorry, Stephen Presley. Only because if they don't start winning games, he's going to be under a lot of pressure. But he seems to have the same demeanour at every single match and every single interview. He's just low-key downplays it all. And, is that enough? I don't know. Maybe it'll be Jim Goodwin. But he won. He drew against Celtic. They won against Celtic. That was a good win they got. And they drew against Motherwell. So he's I thought he'd be the next to go, to be quite honest. But we'll have to wait and see. Next question, Glenn. Have you got another one?
Yeah, I do. I've only got 2 questions this week, so this is the final one, okay? But it's not a bad one, if I do say so myself. Right. Who were the 5 forwards selected in Scotland's 22-man 1998 World Cup squad?
1998 World Cup.
Yeah, last time we went to the World Cup, who were our 5 forwards stroke strikers?
Right,
so there was 22. There was 22 players, and we had 5 strikers or 5 forwards.
Was Gordon Jury one of them? I remember him. Gordon Jury.
Jukebox Jury was 1. Gallagher was 2. Yep.
Burley's here forward.
So who was that?
George
Burley was a midfielder.
Who was McCoy still? Was he there?
No.
Was that?
Beckend.
Jury.
So you got Gallagher and Jury.
John Collins, was he playing forward or was he midfield?
Aye.
Midfield.
McAvenny.
No.
That's a good one. 5 of them.
2 Celtic players. Okay, and 1 playing in the continent.
2 Celtic players. Who's playing up front? Was that Brian McClare? Was past it then? Was he?
Yeah,
was he
long past it.
What his grandson?
Who is that? Who does he play for?
I don't even know if he's got one, but that's just a era you're talking about.
2 of them played for 1998. That's a great question, Glenn. Man.
Just because we're going back to the World Cup, I thought I'd throw that in.
Yeah, it's a good one. Can I just mention at this point rugby, because there's a big game on tomorrow. Glasgow are playing Edinburgh at Hampden Park. First, they only use this Hampden for one rugby match per year, and that's for this Glasgow Edinburgh match, which is amazing. And I've got to mention Glasgow Warriors in particular, because last week they played Toulouse, who are a crack team, money coming out of their ears. One of the most wealthiest club rugby teams in the world. And they came to Scotstoun, and Glasgow were down 21-0 at half-time. And they came back to win it 28-21, a bonus point try. They took all the points they could get. And Toulouse left with 1 point, a losing bonus point I think they got. So that was 4 points. 5 points to 1 in terms, and that puts Glasgow in a particularly good position for these kind of leagues and playoffs, etc. Yeah. And we can't undo the work that's been done there. And we're looking at the Scotland team under Gregor Townsend, who, by the way, has got another job with them.
Newcastle.
Under the I don't know what the company is, but he's doing two things. And so when you get all these good players from Edinburgh and Glasgow, because Edinburgh beat Castries, they beat Toulon at home, which was a great game. Could beat by Castries away, which is disappointing. But anyway, a lot of good players, a lot of good formations, a lot of people injured. I'm thinking of Kyle Rowe, poor fella. But full of Scottish players, two teams, chock full of Scottish players. First time we've seen this in a long time, all playing to their maximum. Brilliant rugby, taking on Toulouse and beating them. Just where they get this from, I don't know. Again, it's like the Scotland team used to be. We used to put Kenny Dalglish in the Scotland football team, and he never performed the way he did for Celtic or Liverpool in the Scotland jersey, we all thought, and we kept losing games. It's a bit like that with rugby. We put them into the Scotland team and we lose, or we don't get the gains that we need. Is that the manager? Is there just a step up too far? I don't know. But I do know this Townsend is got a job for life just about, and he's probably the worst performing manager on the world scene just now in terms of how much home games he loses against the top teams. So just to keep an eye, if you want to watch something really good tomorrow, I think some damn premiere or something. You've got to have some kind of subscription, thanks Glenn, with them, and it costs you like 12 quid or something just for one match. But if you can, it's going to be an absolute belter. A full house at Hampden, two teams going to be playing their hearts out, trying to win the 1707 Cup. It's unusual because the next game they play will be over in Murrayfield in a couple of weeks' time, and it's the team that's got the highest try ratio wins. I think that's how they do it. So tries are really important in this kind of match, on the two matches. But just to say that, well done Glasgow Warriors for their amazing win against Toulouse. And as a Glasgow fan, horse it on Edinburgh. Come on, get tank into them tomorrow. That's all I'm saying.
Nori, didn't Edinburgh have a good result as well?
They did. I mentioned that. They played Toulon.
Okay. Sorry, I thought you said Glasgow with that. My apologies.
No, but they played Castries in France and they got beat to 0. Yeah. But they had 11 players injured or out through suspension or whatever. Unfortunate. So it was a second team. They couldn't get that game. But tomorrow should be a cracker, a humdinger.
Nori, just out of interest, I mean, this, the decision to play all these Scottish players must be coming down for above. So what's changed then?
No, it's part of the league as well. At this time of year, Chris, all the French teams stay at home and play each other. All the Scottish team, 2 Scottish teams, play each other. Over in Ireland, they've got their own games over there. It's to at Christmas time, they don't want people travelling too far.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is, as far as Edinburgh and Glasgow go, you're saying that there's a lot more Scottish players now coming through.
No, the Scottish players that are playing are reaching a really good standard at club level. They're playing really good rugby, and that's good. That bodes well for Scotland. It's just the fact that they're playing under good managers at both teams. By the way, Glasgow and Edinburgh are managed by South African coaches. Both of them.
There you go.
And that puts steel into them. Does something to
Hard
them.
men, aye. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, what have we got? Over last week's games, I think we kind of made it. I said, you guys said that Dundee would beat Livingston.
I mean, I checked the first three last, and they were wrong. So yeah, I'm just keeping my head down.
I had Dundee to win, and they were up 2-0, and it came to 2 each. So that was I was quite happy that it was a draw for the two of them. Motherwell and Dundee United. I thought Motherwell should have won that game, but they didn't. It was another draw, and I can't remember the other game. But I tell you what, when I was watching that football on the telly, the big winner was the weather. It was a howling crap day all over Scotland, and football just wasn't permissible. It was just horrid. So we've got 10 minutes to go through the predictions as they appear. There's 2 matches tomorrow. We'll get to the Aberdeen Celtic one. But has anyone got the list in front of them?
Yeah, I've got it. Yeah. So tomorrow is Dundee United versus Hibs.
Cracker. I'll go first in this one. I think Dundee United are on a bit of a roll. Home match for them. They know how to win games again. Craig Sebald is playing amazing good football. And I think they've got the structure back. I think Hibs are on a bit of a downward spiral. For whatever reason, I don't know. But on recent results, I'll take a good draw here. A really good draw. Maybe a 2 each draw. Chris?
Well, for me, I mean, I think it mirrors Dundee. They were in the middle of nowhere, and then they beat Celtic, and they just kept going the way they did go. So I don't think, was it one swan makes a summer or whatever it is. But yeah, I say that in the middle of winter, of course. But no, I think Hibs will bounce back, but I think Dundee United will give them a decent game because they will be buoyed by that a wee bit. So I would say 2-1 Hibs, a wee win.
Oh, away win, 2-1. Glenn, what do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm with Chris on this one. I mean, anybody can beat Celtic at the moment, can't they?
Well, that's true.
I reckon it'll be a good game. I think it'll be a few goals. I'm going to go 2-1 Hibs.
2-1. I'm the only one going for a draw. That's interesting. Next one, what is it, Glenn?
It's Killie v Falkirk.
Oh, Matt, who's in charge of Killie? Do we know at this point? Who's taken over?
I think it's one of the pies.
It's an interim manager just now.
The pie man. Well, whoever it is, it's got a difficult task. I heard one of the players talking about moving on, and he says, "Yeah, we're all gutted that we didn't play better for Stuart Kettlewell. Really good guy and all the rest of it." And then in the same sentence, but we'll need to move on.
It's a cruel game.
I think John McGlynn, the wily old fox that he is, can get a team to beat Kilmarnock tomorrow. I honestly think it's going to be 2-0 to Falkirk. Glenn, what do you think? Oh, Chris, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I thought they would at least give Hearts a decent game, but yeah, it's got, obviously they're away to the artificial pitch, but I'm guessing a new guy coming in, so there'll be a wee bit there'll be a few surprises. I'm guessing 1 each.
1 each. You think there's going to be a bounce, Glenn?
No, I think Falkirk. Not a bounce for Killie, but a bounce back for Falkirk. I think McGlynn won't tolerate the performance they had. I mean, they weren't awful against Hearts, but he would have wanted more. I really rate McGlynn. So I think his man management is good. The way he sets his teams up is good. What he gets out of a very, very limited squad and a limited budget is almost exceptional, really. So I reckon they'll win this one. I think it will be, games at Kilmarnock are normally dour. I'm going to go 1-0 Falkirk.
1-0. So 2 wins, and you're going for a draw, Chris.
Yeah.
There was an interview with Scott Arfield, the Falkirk striker, talking about John McGlynn, and you said, Glenn, he's a great man manager. That's not what he said. He said the best thing about John McGlynn is his tactics board. When he puts the dots on the board, you know exactly what you've got to do. And he says he simplifies it. And maybe that's the secret of a good team. Just simplify it.
Yeah,
players,
but isn't that also man management as well? I mean, he's not a guy that cuddles you.
Yeah,
but you will know your job. You know, he's effective. Yes. I don't think anyone. If you're being subbed off of a Falkirk game, it's either because you've ran your legs gone kind of thing, or you've not done what you're told.
Yeah.
And and you will change, or you won't get back in the team.
That's right. So he knows how to make a team work. There you go. Next game, who have we got?
We've got Motherwell versus Dundee.
Well, it depends on which Dundee turns up, because I tell you what, some games, Glenn, honestly, I've seen Dundee turn up and they're playing good passing football, getting men into the box, going on the attack. It seems, though, when the counter-attack's on, they get really lazy and they don't come back. It's not as if they're unfit. It's just that they don't seem bothered to come back, hoping that the defence will take care of it. Other teams, most people get back. You get 11 in the box defending. I don't know if that's tactics or if that's just the way the players are. But if Dundee play to their strength, they could get something out of this game. But it's at Motherwell under an absolutely amazing team. Chris, you're up there next to Fir Park. The fans there are saying this is the best they've seen their team playing football. It's a pleasure going to Fir Park to see the team. They're really pleased with even when they lose or they draw 1-1 or whatever, it's still a good game. So I think they'll ramp it up tomorrow. I think poor Dundee will get horsed, and it's going to be at least 2-0. 2-0 Motherwell.
Right. I mean, they're definitely buying into asking what he's. I think I don't want to, jinx it, but I think he's going to be there for a fairly longish haul. So Dundee have got guys that can turn it around like Murray and that, but just honestly, it just seems to know there's a few teams nearer the bottom of the league that are just in a spiral. And you're not going to rely on the oration of Stephen Presley to get them out of it, I think. So, yeah, I think Motherwell might just scrape a 1-0. I think they'll get the win.
1-0, I'm going 2-0. What about you, Glenn?
Oh, well, I'm another one of the neutral fans that is a big fan of Motherwell and their new manager, Askew. I think he's, say it almost every week, the way he's got them playing, even, as you said, even when they get beat, not that there's ever a right way to get beat, but they play, they go down playing football and always trying to score, etc., and always going forwards. Dundee, look, they're hot and cold, mostly cold. They had a cracking second half against Aberdeen, when Aberdeen completely collapsed, and they had a good game against Celtic, which was a complete surprise. But most of the times I've seen Dundee, they're limited. I don't really believe that Presley has got the ability or the people on the bench to turn matches around. I like the captain's the striker. Oh, his name Simon. His name's gone. Yeah. Honestly, he's the best player they've got, and he's still a very, very good player. Whether he'll be there next season, I don't know. Whether the Motherwell manager will be there next season, I don't know either. Whoa. I think he's, honestly, if somebody gets sacked and there's somebody like if Teeling goes, I'd be urging our chairman to look at Motherwell. Because they've been talking about an identity and playing attractive football, and that's exactly what Motherwell have. And I think Motherwell will be far too strong. I think it'll be 3-0 Motherwell.
Yeah, I went 2 just because, I don't know, but I think it probably might be 3, but I'll say 2. Tomorrow's matches, we've got the big one for Aberdeen, big one for Celtic as well.
We've still got St Mirren Livingston.
All right. Do you know this? St Mirren Livingston, I've got a funny feeling Livingston might just take this, only because I think St Mirren will be still partying after last Sunday. I think Livingston might just sneak a good draw, maybe even a win out of this, maybe a 2-1 or a 1-0. I'm going to go Livingston on this one, only because I think St Mirren will be a wee bit hungover. Chris?
No, well, hungover or no, I mean, Gascoigne did it his entire career, so I'm going for players like Bacchus, Ahara, yeah, they've got strong players. I think it'll be 2-0 St Mirren.
Glenn, do you think so?
No, I think St Mirren's form in the league is poor. I think they'll put in a decent performance, but Livingston will fight for everything. It's not gonna be a really pretty attractive match. I think it'll be tight. I'm gonna go 1-1.
1-1.
I think Livy will get a point.
Wow. Now, after you saw Celtic in midweek and you saw Aberdeen last night, who are you going to pull? Who are you going to suspect will win this one, Chris?
I think whoever kicks the ball is the hardest towards the opposition's goal, honestly. Just both teams, I think both teams just want to get this game out of the way and try and grab a point, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it'd be the laws of average, right? Nancy's got to do something, right? So I'm a dispirited 2-1 Celtic victory, I think.
Oh, Glenn, is your head ruling your heart in this one? Or your...
No, I watched that game last night, so no, no, not a chance. Aberdeen coming back from Europe, Celtic. I mean, they played Dundee United. They actually played quite well against Dundee United and then lost it. I honestly, I think this is the win that Nancy's been looking for. 2-1, 3-1. I'll go 3-1, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't see us scoring any goals. I'm going to go 3-0 Celtic. And I say that in the hope that I'm absolutely dead wrong about it. But, you know, for the predictions, I might win a point or two out of it. But...
Maybe we've jinxed it. We've all picked Celtic to win, so surely it's got to be Aberdeen.
Aye, this is what my fingers are crossed for. But I'm an Aberdeen fan, but you can't get behind your team when they're playing football like that. It's just like, I don't know. I just get fed up. And maybe in the next show, and we're still up for what's next week? Is that it's past Christmas, isn't it?
It's Boxing Day.
But so we do. Shall we take a break?
Honestly, well, no one will be watching. They'll be too drunk.
No, there will be. It's a chance to get more of an audience because they'll be wanting to see something. So we should do one on Boxing Day then.
I'll check my diary with the wife, but I mean,
aye, only because in the new year, I've got to say this. Neil Dryborough is a journalist for the P&J. He's wanting to come on and talk. He says, if you talk about sport and politics, I want to come on.
Neil, yeah.
And there's another guy from the Scottish Supporters Association wanted to come on as well. So I think we can maybe move you over to that.
They're your plus twos then, is that what you're saying, Norrie?
Chris, you and me have been relegated.
No, we'll get one on at a time. Just to vary up and get their suggestions of how Scotland's football's going and rugby. And I know Neil's a big cricket fan as well, Scottish cricket. So it'll be interesting to get his take on that. But that's all for the new year. We'll work on that.
We're not forgetting about the match of the weekend, are we? Hearts Rangers.
Oh, Hearts Rangers. Is that tomorrow?
It's Sunday.
Sunday. Oh, Sunday.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yes.
It should be a cracking match.
Oh, I forgot all about that one, to be honest. Yes, I'm taking Hearts to win that one. And I'm taking Hearts to win that by 2-0. Easy. Yep. On their own patch. I think Derek McInnes can fine-tune a team. We've seen it at Aberdeen, Glenn. He was very defensive. His defence was set in stone. And nobody could get past us. It was the other end. But now that he's got Shankland and, there's attacking options he's got. I think Hearts can win this game, and I don't think Rangers, if they're under a lot of pressure, won't offer anything back. I think 2-0 Hearts. Chris?
Well, just probably not really in it for any football knowledge, but I just think Hearts will be delighted to get into Christmas top of the league.
Aye.
I think they'll huff and puff. And Rangers' defence is there to be absolutely hammered, but somehow I think Hearts would still come away with a 1-0 draw. Going, well, do you know what? We've not went backwards, so I'll go 1-0.
1-0. Glenn, final word.
I'll go Hearts 3, Rangers 1. I think Rangers frail at the back. Hearts really buoyed. Can't believe their luck with what's happening at Celtic. So I think they'll go if they score within about the first 25 minutes or something, yeah, I think that's the way it's going to go. They'll put a lot of pressure on Rangers. They'll really be up for it.
Indeed. Well, that's all we've got time for this week. But listen, if you've enjoyed this right to the end, please consider subscribing, sharing, and liking. It helps the algorithms and it helps us move on a wee bit. So if you can do that for us, that'd be amazing. Thanks for joining us all the way at the end, those who stayed. It's a bit of a laugh. It's talking about Scottish football, and we'll be here perhaps to talk about it next week. Who knows? It's up to you, Glenn.
Well, here's hoping, guys. And look, everybody, Merry Christmas. Hope you all have a great time with your families, etc. And we'll be back soon.
Indeed, we will. All the best to you, folk. All the best to you guys. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye now.